So getting started, unlike a lot of businesses, the prerequisites are getting an LLC, getting EIN, and it's because of the business bank account. All right. So a lot of businesses you can start, kind of get going before you get your LLC, EIN, but your money is going to be deposited directly into a bank account, and it needs to be a business bank account. Understand that it's going to have a lot of small deposits. Your bank needs to know that, because if you try to do it on your personal account, you'll get flagged and shut down. If you do it even on a business account, with a lot of larger banks or places that might consider ATM as a money service business, then you're going to have a hard time as well. So we usually recommend getting your LLC, getting your EIN, and go find a smaller bank. Go find a credit union, something like that, because they work better with money services, which technically this is not a money services business, but it gets grouped into that. So sometimes on the bigger banks, it's the call of the teller. It's the call of the person you're talking to. I've seen situations where they tell you no, and then you can go to the next location, they tell you yes. You know, once you get in and they see that it's a legit business, you're gonna be all right. I wanna drive that home because a lot of people try to skip that step. Go to instantsmallbiz.com, go directly there. Even without joining a membership, you can get that complete course for free. And again, I suggest that on any of the businesses that we have, but very specifically for this ATM business as well. Buying an ATM machine, that's going to be, of course, one of the first things that you need to do when getting into the ATM machine business. So getting your first machine, there's a couple things you want to keep in mind. EVM and ADA compliant. EVM is how the banks communicate with the ATM machines, and they need to be at a level of security and compliance. ADA is the American Disabilities Act, to where you need Braille and some other things for those with disabilities. Any machine, or most machines made after 2018, will automatically have these. If you find a machine, which we'll talk about finding used machines and things of that nature at a little cheaper price, you need to check and make sure that they're EVM compliant and ADA compliant. And it's sometimes you can pay to upgrade them, okay? Older machines, just depend on the cost. We'll go over that as well. There are penalties. There's like $50,000 fees and if you get caught with not having these compliances, all right? Now, used versus new machines. Again, the used machines might not have it. You need to double check. And if they don't, you need to see what it would cost to upgrade it to EVM and ADA compliant, and price that used cost plus the upgrade versus your new machine, all right? And we're going to get into the differences. There are a lot of big differences, and this is why I said your first machine, because once you do it once, you can do it again with a little bit more ease. You know, you understand the difference in used and new machines. You understand and can tell which ones are EVM and ADA compliant, all right? Buying it cash versus financing. It's up to you. Depends on your situation. I usually suggest your first machine being cash, just in case things fall through, just in case there's extra expenses. There are drawbacks on buying cash. It's yours, you own it, which means you're responsible for fixing it and upkeep and installing and moving and things of that nature, all right? We'll go over the costs and the differences between the two, but again, it depends on your situation. If you're in a situation where you're working and you have a consistent income, maybe you can finance it. Just remember that cost is going to cut into your profit. Like we said earlier on the last page, if your profit is $3 out of 4, it may be $2.50. It may be $2 out of 4, at least for the first year or a couple years to pay for that ATM machine. Another key point is programming and installing. Again, when you're financing, they can do it for you. There are ways to purchase them yourself and have servicers do it for you, which I'll get into that. So you can definitely own your own ATM and get it programmed and installed, and you can learn to program and install them yourself as well. 2 key points for those that's jumping ahead. Windows. When buying a machine, you want to look for Windows software. They're more popular, they're easy to upgrade, okay? Also, when you're programming a machine, you can do the programming at home. That way you're not in businesses for 2-3 hours trying to figure things out. Again, this is for your first machine. The machines after that, it doesn't take as long. Upscale or high traffic machines have a little bit different requirement. For one, they hold more money, and that's because they're higher traffic. You don't want to keep coming and refilling your ATM once a week, right? Or twice a week. I recommend once a month, hopefully. But that's when you get to a point where you have a cash reserve that you can keep in your ATM for a whole month without it going out. So when we're looking at upscale or high traffic machines, that's like gentlemen's clubs, that's casinos, things of that nature. For one, you have to meet their requirements on the quality of the machine, the look. You don't want to put no gas station machine in a gentleman's club. You don't want to put a convenience store type of machine in a casino, right? Because they are higher scale. They need to hold more money. They need to react faster. Touch screen, bigger screen size, not the little green and white deals like the first cell phones. You want something big, look like a laptop. You can touch the screen, the money shoots out. Also, surge protection is something you want to look into when you're purchasing these ATMs. These are the type of features you want to look over. Also, toppers and window signs. Toppers is a big ATM light up sign that they put on top of ATMs. Those are separate and additional and optional depending on your location. Same thing with window signs. Window signs are provided by the ATM owners. So that can be part of your pitch. You know, when you're talking an owner or a location into taking your ATM, free ATM window signs. It'll also have a topper to attract people in.